just so you know, like you probably felt really good in day one of training. Like you came to day one, you're like, all right, this is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be weird. And it's a new job, and I've never done anything like this before. And then by the end of day one, you're like, okay, I think I could do this. And you were feeling better about the job than when you started day one, right? Day one, through those hours, you were feeling better about the job. Day two, although you were just getting started and over excited from setting demos and all this stuff, you were probably feeling more confident at the end of day two than you were at the beginning of day two, right? Day three, for sure, you felt more confident and more competent for sure at the end of day three. And then you went out and did demos. And probably you've had some ups and downs emotionally, great sales, low sales, no sales, big sales, middle sales, red sales, blue sales, right? You've had all the sales and all the demos. But after this meeting, and this meeting is going to feel like it was 20 minutes, even though it's 2 hours, right? But after this meeting, this is not a new thing to me. This is new to you because it's your first advanced training, but I've done this for 26 years as a manager. Every time we have advanced training, 26 times 52 weeks, whatever that number is, a crap ton of weeks, right? Or crap ton of trainings. We don't have training every week, but we have a lot of weeks, but you get my point. Every time we run advanced training, sales blow up. There's people all like they soak up this meeting in 2 hours. That's why it feels 20, 30 minutes long, because in 2 hours, you soak up so much more now that you've done demos and you went through 3 days of training, but you've done demos. And now it's like not this weird, I don't know what's going on. Now you're like, I remember that. Yes, that's happened to me. That's happened to me. Like now it's real. And so sales blow up for two reasons. One, your knowledge, your confidence, your competence is so much higher now already before we start this meeting that now in 2 hours, when I teach you everything I'm going to teach you and we go over everything we're going to go over, your confidence is going to be way high and your knowledge, confidence, and competence is so much better that sales, quote, blow up. But the reason they really blow up, even more than what you learn, it's the fact that you have demos on Monday night, like Cutco Home Evening. Tonight, demos I can't even tell you how many times. Lacey Ramirez, for example, she came to this meeting. She was going to have a $100 first paycheck. I don't know what the base pay was. I don't know what her commission was at that point, but she was going to make like $100, okay, from her first weekend. And then she did 4 demos Monday night. So this meeting ended. She had 4 demos. She goes out, okay, and Gabriel, she sold a Homemaker Plus 8, first demo. Next demo was like a trimmer, one knife. And then the next demo was a no sale. And then the last demo of the night was a homemaker plus 8. She sold 2 homemakers on her first night, right on the last night of the first weekend, on the evening after advanced training. Her first paycheck went up to like 300, almost $400 from 1 2 hour meeting and the 4 demos that followed, right? Steve Pierce goes out and does 5 demos in 24 hours. So like came to the meeting, did 5 demos, and this has never happened. I've trained 8,000 reps. This has never happened, but it's so freaking funny that I'm going to tell you the story. He goes out, okay, Gabriel, Blake, and Maddie, and Jonathan, if you want to get on video when you can, that'd be great. But anyway, he goes out from whatever time it was on Monday, 24 hours later to Tuesday. So some of this counted for his first paycheck, right? He goes out in 24 hours, no joke, galley plus six, 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 5 demos, five. I don't understand how that's even possible. They must have all been related and like told each other what to buy. I have no idea. But 5 demos, 5 galleys, that's like in the old days, that's like $3,000 in sales in 24 hours. In today's dollars, that's like $5,000 in sales, right? At the price of what it is today. So would you guys like to, I'm not saying you would ever, because it's never happened besides that one time, sell 5 galleys or 5 anything, 5 sets in a row or 5 big orders, decent orders, even 5 average orders in the next 24 hours? Raise your hand if you think that'd be awesome. It'd be awesome, right? Last story, Colby Ashton came to this meeting. He had 11 demos, Blake, first weekend, 3 orders, 3 for 11. You ought to go 8 for 11, bro. He went 3 for 11 and he had $300 in sales. Like you can't do much worse than 3 for 11 besides having an average order of like a trimmer. He had 3 orders, $300. Like, what are you doing, dude? And he came to this meeting pissed off. He was really mad. Okay, this being recorded. I just said he was pissed off. Okay. And because of that, he came to this meeting. He was so mad. He booked up demos for Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday. And from Monday night at the end of this meeting, 48 hours later, he sold over $3,000 of Cutco. In 48 hours, his paycheck the next, for that, just for those 2 days, at 48 hours, he made almost $500 in those 48 hours. How many of you guys feel like making $500 in the next 48 hours would be a good idea also? So, like I've already said, this meeting's going to feel like it was short, and it will be short, obviously, compared to, 5, 6 hour days of training or more or longer, but it'll feel short because you're going to soak it up so much faster than you did during the training. That's number one reason why sales blow up. But the second reason, if you didn't get it, is right after this meeting, Lacey had 4 demos. Right after this meeting, Steve Pierce had 5 demos in 24 hours. And right after this meeting, Colby had a crap ton of demos booked from Monday to Wednesday. My advice right now, and we always do this in advanced training, is whatever I'm going to teach you is only as good as how many demos you do and how much you use what I teach you in the next 24, 48 hours. But remember, tonight demos count the most towards your first paycheck. In fact, they're the only demos that count for your first paycheck. Tomorrow demos and Wednesday demos count towards your second paycheck. But who could use a big boost in this week's paycheck? Like direct deposit on Friday, today's Monday, 5 days from now, you want to get that direct deposit and feel like, boom, it's actually 4 days from now. Like, how's that first paycheck going to look? So, my advice, and we always do this, is we're going to give you a little music and we're going to get you guys on the phone. I truthfully have no idea. Oh, now it's loading. Okay, good. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to start phoning. Okay. And what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is the best advice I can give you now that I've just said that. You get the advice of just get demos, bro. Okay. Let's do this. What you want to do is you want to go to your go to your workbook, not the master workbook. I'm going to the master workbook. So you're going to go to your workbook. You have it all colored in. Nod your head, thumbs up. Yours is all colored in with your demos, your life, your schedule, your school, your other job, everything you have. Two things you're going to do. You're going to go to your schedule and you're going to try and book any and all of the leftover money signs right here, specifically for tonight, because that will make your first paycheck bigger. But then go to Tuesday and be like, I'm coming to Champs Club on Tuesday. I'm going to go ahead and book as many of these demos. And by the way, if your money signs are changed time-wise, they don't all have to be at 6:30 on Tuesday and 8 o'clock on Tuesday. But try to fill as many demos after today's meeting, this evening first, and then Tuesday, then Wednesday. Does everyone kind of get the idea? That's the first thing is the when, right? But now, who are you going to call? 100%, guys. You want to go to your top 20. And let's say you've done this. You've marked everyone that you booked, because that's what we taught you to do. And let's say you booked 7, 8 demos, and let's say maybe you booked 10, right? And if you've booked 10 demos, you've probably done 5 because you have demos tonight, maybe tomorrow, and you probably got ditched. Nod your head violently if you got ditched, like your aunt freaking forgot you, like you're pissed off. Like, there I did, I said it again. But you're like, what the heck, Aunt Betty, or someone in these people. So if they don't have a green checkbox next to this column, column H, and column I, so either you have white on this column and this column, or you have white on this column alone, I would call everybody you need to reschedule. Nod your head again if you have people to reschedule. Yes. So my first piece of advice is call the people that you have to reschedule. All right. And I would go with it this way. All right. Let me see if I can right. No, that's not it. Here. Yeah. You want to call your reschedules. Okay. First things first, call the reschedules that said, oh, I forgot, you got to reschedule. Something came up. We had to go to Costco, right? So call the reschedules. And then secondly, call anyone who Jonathan said to you, oh, I'm really busy this weekend. Call me Monday. Like anyone that said, call me later, call me Monday. Nod your head again if you have people that said, call me after the weekend. I'm busy. I'm out of town, right? So again, anyone who said, let's reschedule, or I need to reschedule, or someone who said, call me later, or just literally go back to that top 20 list, right? The top 20 list, that if they're not green in this column and green in this column, that is the group of people you should be calling right now. Because once again, and those of you that just showed up, glad you're here. But I encouraged everybody with a couple stories about how sales blow up after this meeting. And the way to make those sales blow up is to make sure that you have as many demos tonight that will impact this paycheck, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, that will impact paycheck to your second paycheck, right? So book Monday night, Kakaho meeting, and then book big time Tuesday, Wednesday demos. I'll put on some tunes. We're going to give you guys about 10, maybe 15 minutes, probably 10-ish, maybe 15. And my advice, again, call the reschedules, right? Call the reschedules and the callbacks, and then anyone left on your list, specifically if they're not green in column H or if they're not green in column I. Okay, guys? Thumbs up if you're tracking. Thanks for being on video. I will advise you to just stay on video and just sit there and make calls for 10 to 15 minutes. You probably already know the 3 to 5 people. You're like, I got to get them. I got to get her. She didn't answer my phone, and I got to call her right now, right? Like those are the people you want to call, and the sales will blow up after this meeting based on those two things: what you're going to learn in the next hour and 40 minutes, and then also how many demos you have in the next 24, 48 hours. Cool? I'll put the tunes on, and we'll just get going, and we'll start up here in a few minutes. Okay, question? Okay, we're good. All right, awesome, guys. I'm going to pause this recording, and we'll get that phoning going on. Okay. Screen. I just want to remind you that phone tag. If you take your pen and paper right now and take this down, write it down. Phone tag is actually healthy, and you don't get to play it that often with customers because they're not going to call you back usually, but friends and family might call you back, right? Don't answer the phone call. In this meeting, it's only an hour and 24 or 40 minutes left, right? An hour and 35 minutes left. So don't sacrifice 5, 8, 10 minutes taking a phone call from someone that loves you that's going to talk your ear off, right? Don't take that phone call. Let it go to voicemail. Phone tag is healthy and it's motivating. What do I mean by that, Blake? Have you ever called someone, they missed your call, then they call you, you miss their call, and by the time you've called each other a couple times, all of a sudden it's like super motivating. Like, dude, someone will cut their grandma off. Stop talking, grandma. I got to take this phone call. This is the fifth time we've missed each other, right? So like phone tag is motivating. So if you ever miss their call after they've missed your call, it's the best thing, because when you call them back, they'll be like, oh my gosh, we keep missing each other. I got to answer the phone for Alex, or this same phone number that's called me 3 times and I called them back 3 times, like whatever, right? So don't answer the phone call during this meeting. And then when the meeting is over, Maddie, you can immediately call those people back. Okay, that's my advice, is don't take any phone calls. Be present in this meeting, because I guarantee it's going to put money in your bank account. Thumbs up if you're tracking. Is that cool? All right. So once again, welcome to advanced training. Super fired up to make sure that I give you guys the goods. We've already made a bunch of phone calls, a bunch of sales. Lots of good stuff is happening as far as like what the training, because some of you guys are in different offices, right? And so I know a couple of you are in my office, and 1 or 2 of you is in Shay's office. So we know a little bit about your sales, and I may have even spoken to you. I'm not even sure, but I just wanted to do some quick recognition. We've already had some great things happening already. Harold's got $1,700 in sales, so great job, Harold. You're at $1,700 on 2 orders, so you got a couple set sales, or maybe 1 set sale and a piece order. So congrats, you got a first pay raise. And then let's see, 7 times 15, so that's another. Yeah, you made $175 already. So that's pretty exciting. I'm not sure how many demos you've done. Jonathan, you're already at $1,600 in sales, so that's pretty fired up. Looks like, Jonathan, you're in Shay's office, so congratulations on that. You've also made, oh, I'm sorry, Harold, you're over $200 in income, and Jonathan, you're like 190 in income from your sales alone. Two orders for $1,600, so probably a good size set in there. Alex, congratulations, Alex. You're in our office, Salt Lake City. You're at $1,300 in sales, so that's pretty cool. You got your first 3 orders. Rake is from the other office, and that's Shay's office, and she got first sale. Your assignment was to get your first sale. So Blake and Rake, you guys have both. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. You guys have both got your.
No, it's pronounced right.
Right. Okay. Good. Sorry.
He'll be on the meeting soon.
Okay. Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, right, I wasn't in training, so thanks for helping me out there, Maddie. They both got their first sale, so congratulations, Blake. That's awesome, and Reich. And then Gabe, you're at 2 sales for about 600. So well done there. Nice job. Looks like you're from Gabe. You're from the. I don't know. Maybe you're. Yeah, you're from. I'm not sure. But anyways, congratulations. You're in Salt Lake North, and so that's just the beginning. And I just want to point out to you guys, no matter what's happened so far. Oh, we're going to get to the contest in just a second. We're going to do this a little out of order, but I want to get to yeah, again, recognition and what's happened so far. And I want to point out that no matter what's happened so far, there's way. I gotta find your fast start. It's fast start, fast start, fast. There. No, that's not it. Where is the doggone fast start slide? That is so funny. Okay, I'll find it. Because then I want to point out, you committed at some point on day 3. You remember this. You took out your phone and you texted your manager and you said, hey, I'm committing to this many demos, this many, whatever your number was. You said, I'm committing to this many demos. And my goal is this much in sales. Now, let me ask you today, even before this meeting is really in full effect, are you better at the job today or worse at the job than you were on Friday afternoon? You're obviously better, right? You're better than you were on Friday, right? On Friday, you were better than you were on Thursday, right? So every day you're better. So do you think day 1 or day 5 or day 10 is when you're the most skilled? The end, right? The day 10 of your fast start or the last day. So no matter what you said is your sales goal, you, Alex, might feel behind. You might feel ahead, right? You might feel like, well, my average order is 80 and you're ticked off, but it's only because you have one order, right? And I want to point out that if you committed to X number of demos, I want you to 100% stay firm on that commitment. Because by the time this week is over, 10 more days, the 10th day, when the 10 days fully is over, you're on day 4 right now today. You got 7, 6.5, 7 more days left to your fast start. I just want to make sure you guys understand, as long as you stay committed to the demo number, and 2 side notes, coach and call with your manager 15 times a day if you have to. Keep calling, keep asking for help, keep working with your manager. Think about Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. They were talking to their manager, whose name was Phil, by the way, left and right. They were talking left and right, left and right. Like, how do I get better? What do I need to do? And they were communicating and communicating and communicating with their coach. And they also, facts here, Kobe is long known for being a guy that was at the gym at 4 a.m., right? He was always at the gym. And then Michael Jordan used to host the entire Chicago Bulls team in his home that I've been to. It has a sweet indoor basketball court, 12 awesome reclining leather sweet chairs, and they had a professional chef come in, and they had Champs Club or Breakfast Club. They had a chef cook them breakfast, and they played basketball in his house, and then they had breakfast and they watched film, and then they would all drive to practice at the Bulls practice facility. So they had practice before practice. And those are 2 facts everyone kind of knows about Kobe and about Michael Jordan. And they won all these championships. And it's because they were at Champs Club. I'll call it Champs Club. You guys know when Champs Club is. So back to my story. If you commit to that demo number that you said you would commit to, and if you talk to your manager left and right, and you come to Champs Club as many days as you can. Some of you have school in that time frame, 8 to 9:30. But if you can just make it to Champs Club and then go to class, if you can make it to Champs Club and then be at your other job, make it to Champs Club, then go back to bed till noon. If you have to go back to bed till noon, you got to get up and pee in the morning anyway. This is being recorded, so it's facts right now. No printer. Okay? You can get up in the morning and be on Champs Club. If you go to Champs Club and you get your 20, 30, 40, whatever the number of demos you committed to do, whatever that number was, you stay firm on that commitment. Great to have you here. I'm going to mute you that just jumped on. Thank you for being here. I think it's Jeanette. But great to have you here. And I just want to remind you, if you stay committed to that number and you come to Champs Club and you coach your butt off with your manager and you call your top 20, make your top 30. Story real quick. When Hudson Carmichael broke the Intermountain Division fast start record, she was in day 2 of training, and she already had her top 20 made. Look at my screen, guys. Look at my screen. What she did is she made her top 20 into a top 30. And she just kept adding to her best customers list. So this is your workbook, right? So you have full capability adding names, adding rows, whatever you feel like you need to do, keep marking it up. And I would just fill column H and I, with as many completed demos and as many booked demos and completed demos. That's how you'll have a big fast start. No matter what's happened so far, this meeting is going to light your candle, so to speak, and you're going to be ready to sell like crazy. Okay? You'll be ready to deal the steel, as they say. You'll be ready to pedal the metal. You'll be ready to persuade the blade, Jonathan. I mean, who doesn't want to learn how to do that in this meeting? And that was so cheesy, and this is being recorded. Okay, so we're having fun. I'm glad you're having fun because I am too. So I just want to make it very, very clear, no matter what's happened so far, we haven't even taught you how to sell. Okay. And one of the biggest things you can do to make sure you are selling more Cutco is understand that learners are earners and skills pay the bills. That's why Champs Club, that's why I talk to your manager. You will get more skills and you will get and more learning, so you will sell way more Cutco. And this meeting, guys, in training, we taught you how to manage the demo and like read the manual and kind of follow the manual to the best of your ability, and you were still kind of, I don't know, I'm nervous, right? Now that you've done demos, today we actually teach you how to sell Cutco. Now that doesn't really change that much because there's little things. How many guys did this happen to you where you were in a demo and you're like, shoot, I know Jesse covered this. I know Patrick covered this. I know we went over this, but I can't freaking remember what to do. But I know we went over this. How many guys had it like something go in one year, out the other year in the 3 days of training? And you were like in the demo, you're like, I know we've covered this. Guys, it happens to everybody. So today we're gonna button up those little loose ends and make sure we build your confidence and competence in selling Cutco. First thing I'm gonna say that you can do that will make you so much more successful is keep building your list. I've already been talking about this, haven't I? Build that list. Build that list of people you can show. I promise you, if you go back and you call and work on getting more people to call. Because some people, it's not that you don't know people, because sometimes reps say, well, I don't know anyone else. I can't think of anybody else. It's not that you can't think of anybody else. It's that you, in the beginning or even now, can't think of any more people that you're comfortable calling. That you're comfortable calling. How many guys have avoided certain people on your list? You're like, I don't care what Phil says. I don't care what Patrick says. I am not calling that lady. I'm scared to call that lady. Guys, if you think that's weird, it's not weird at all. You're totally normal if there's people that you're like, I'm so scared, but I'm not going to tell Shay or Patrick or Phil that I'm scared to call those people. You're totally normal. But you've seen the Instagram posts. You've seen all these memes, they call them memes, right? Memes. Okay, that say all the good stuff happens outside of your comfort zone. Who's heard that in dating? It happens in sports. It happens in education, in getting a job. It happens in life, right? You run into these amazing situations because you get outside your comfort zone. Guys, if you only call people that you're comfortable calling, you're going to call your mom and your grandma and your neighbor, and they're not going to give you very many referrals. By the way, raise your hand if you had a struggle getting referrals. Well, let me make it very clear. You learned how to get referrals in 20 minutes of day 3 of training when you were nervous enough about your first demo that you can't think of anything else to get. Like you were too worried about doing your first demo than to remember half of what we taught you on recommendations. And that's actually okay. It's kind of baked into the cake. What I mean by that is when you're brand new, guys, when you're brand new, here's you and your, girlish figure or bikini body or whatever, right? Here's you. Here's your comfort zone. Here's the people you're willing to call in your first weekend. And guess who their circle of influence also is? The same circle. In other words, if you call your aunt because you're really close to her, who's your aunt going to refer you to? All your other aunts and grandma and your mom. In other words, they're going to give you the referrals to the people you already thought of. So if you're calling people that are in this little circle of influence that you have that are really close to you, you know 90% of the people they know. So even if they gave you 100% of their referrals, very few are going to be people you may not have met before. Does everyone buy into that? Like the people that know you really well are going to refer you to people that know you really well. Look at the screen here, guys. If you get outside of your comfort zone, right, back over here, and look at my screen, if you get on this second level of comfort zone and start calling people that are a little less in your comfort zone, their referrals are going to be out here. And 90% of the referrals you get from them will be people that you don't know. And then you'll actually get more referrals. Remember, you learned 3 days how to do a demo. You learned 20 minutes how to get referrals, right? It's a very disproportionate amount of time spent. So if you feel like you stunk it up on referrals, you're normal, but it kind of doesn't matter. Two reasons. One, Gabe, you could literally go back to your mom and your grandma and your aunt 7 times in the next 7 days and ask her for referrals every day. And they'll be like, I thought of someone else. I thought of someone else. Yeah, here's someone else for you. Like people that know you really well, you could see them at church. They'll ask you for, you could ask them for referrals every Sunday, right? But on the other hand, when you start showing some people that you were maybe nervous about calling in the beginning, and you start getting out here in the comfort zone a little further out, now you'll get a lot of really awesome referrals, and they will be really referrals instead of just people you didn't write down, right? And so that's another reason why you want to keep building and getting out of your comfort zone, because that's where you are in this job. Like, isn't this job harder than Walgreens? Isn't this job harder than flipping burgers and making pizza and janitor at the high school, right? This job is out of your comfort zone, but that's how you adult. You want to know what's really outside your comfort zone? Getting married, having babies, having a mortgage, having a business, building a life, being a lawyer, getting a job. That's way harder than selling Cutco. But if you get really good at this, you will get good at major other things in your life. So everyone, again, soaking this up. This isn't just a Cutco thing. This is literally like, this is life skills you're getting here and building your dreams. And this isn't saying you're going to be with our company for 40 years, but you could do it for 40 hours, 40 days, 40, fortnights, if you will, right? 40 weeks, right? What could you be at? Where could you be at the end of this summer? I don't know about you, but I needed to make a lot of money in the summer. And I want to tell you guys, this is such a crazy good income experience when you're at 30%, 40%. But we got to blow through those first 4 pay raises. Remember, 3 of you, maybe 4 of you, have your first pay raise. How fast can we tonight get your second pay raise? And then in your fast start, get your third and be even at your 4th pay raise if you commit to 30 to 40 demos and stay to that commitment. Okay, so how do we get those demos? Well, guys, it's very simple. One, more phone calls. But secondly, who? Who do we call? Who's ever driven a car or ridden a bike? Who's ever driven a car or ridden a bike like in terrain, meaning on the highway, on a mountain where you use gears? You guys know what gears are in a car, right? You got first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth. Let me ask you a question. You're gonna shake your head violently or nod your head violently. Can you drive your car in first gear on the highway? You will burn up your engine and start your car on fire if you try to drive your car in first gear on the highway, right? You'll burn that thing up. And can you drive a car in 6th gear or 8th gear, like my BMW has 8 gears? My truck has 10 gears. Can you drive that straight away in 8th or 10th or 6th gear in the neighborhood in a school zone? No, you'll stall your engine. In other words, you can't jump to 6th gear too quickly, and you can't stay in first gear very long. Nod your head if you understand both concepts. Can't jump to the high gears too quick, and you can't stay in first gear too long. Why am I bringing that up? Guys, here's what it is. There's 6 dots, there's 6 gears. Your first gear, like I told you when we started this meeting, call the people that said, call me back. I'm sorry, call the people that rescheduled. They already said yes. Call those people, book those demos. Second gear, call the people that said, call me Monday, call me later. Call the callbacks. Number 3, go back to your top 20 list. Keep adding people to this list and go back to that list and keep calling more. And then 4th gear is when you're calling people you don't know, but listen closely. They know you. You don't know your mom's coworkers, but they know you. They know you better than you know you. Your mom has been blabbing to her friends about you since you were 4, since you were 0 years old, right? They've, oh, my son, my daughter, my this, my that, right? So guys, trust me, you want to make sure you're calling people that you don't know them, but they know of you, or they know you, but you don't even realize you know them. You forgot that you've met them. You've been in their house for dinner, but you were 4 years old, 10 years old. You don't remember. So people that know you or know of you, those are your acquaintances. Mom's coworkers, dad's coworkers, dad's employees, mom's favorite. I'm literally walking out, looking out my front yard. There's a couple ladies walking down the road. Who does your mom go on walks with? Who does your mom Marco Polo with? Who does your mom play pickleball with? Who does your dad go golfing or hunting with? Those are the people that you want to be calling that you don't know, but they know you. They know of you. And that's fourth gear. Fifth gear is people like the moms on the swim team, the parents of your swim team teammates. You were in DECA or FBLA or high school band or high school orchestra, and you've never met the moms, but they've been there and they've watched you perform, but you don't even know them. But dude, if you wore the same cap and gown as my son, if you wore the same volleyball uniform as my daughter, you call me, I'm booking a demo with you, no problem. Guys, I have 5 daughters and 2 sons. If any kid that went to any school or wore any jersey with my son or my daughter, they called me and asked me for an hour of my time and they get $21 just to show it, I'll be like, no problem, dude. Give me 5 fingers. That's 5 gears. That's the fifth gear. The people that you don't know, but they know you, you wore the same shirt as their daughter or son. And then you call the recommendations. Don't jump to sixth gear, right? Nod your head if you understand that analogy. You can't jump to sixth gear too quick. Don't call referrals. Don't call referrals. You want to have 100 referrals before you call them. You want to have 50 to 100 to 150 referrals before you can call them. Now, that might freak you out, but guys, remember, half the referrals you did or did not get this weekend are people you could call without even getting referred to them. Your aunt will refer you to people you know. Your classmate, teammate, they will refer you to people you know. So if you've been referred to people that you do know, look at my eyeballs. If you've been referred to people you know, call them and use the same normal phone approach. Does that make sense? So you can call the referrals that you know, but don't wait on, or definitely wait on someone who doesn't know you and you don't really know them. Okay, so what's going to happen right now, guys, is we are going to watch a quick video. Okay, this video is literally one of my favorite videos of one of my favorite humans on Earth. Okay, so it sounds kind of funny and extreme to say that, but this is Hal Elrod. He's a world-renowned, best-selling author, world-renowned motivational speaker, keynote speaker. He was a Cutco fast starter rep back in the day when I was an assistant manager. And he was a brand new rep. He was 17, 18 years old when he started selling Cutco. And he broke a divisional, regional record. And he's going to tell you, look at my, give me 4 fingers. He's going to give you 4 tips. So remember that in a second. By the way, he's been on the Montel Williams show. He's been on the Today Show. Just a few months ago, he was on the Fox News talking about his book. His book is called The Miracle Morning. He has 5 books, but his first one, actually his first one was a different book, but his second book has already sold 3 million copies, The Miracle Morning. His companion book is The Miracle Equation, which is an awesome book as well. And it's a life philosophy book, and it's great. He has a couple kids. He lives in Texas. I see him a couple times a year. He's a great guy, and he's going to give you 4 tips of how to have a big fast start. Now, in this video, he's going to give me 1 finger. He is going to give you a bonus tip before the 3 main tips. So it'll be bonus tip. It'll be kind of like in passing, write down the bonus tip. And then he's going to give you 3 tips of how to have a big fast start. By the way, as he's speaking, I am going to, and I'm not joking, I'm going to blow up the chat. I'm going to give you all this cool anecdotal info about his fast start that I think is very pertinent for you guys to know, because it'll set your mind in the, like, it's anecdotal stuff that'll help you get value out of his story. Okay, so this isn't a moment where you just want to like passively listen, but it will be very passively positive for you to just listen. Take down the 4 notes, watch the chat box blow up, and I promise you, you'll get a lot out of this message. And then right after that, we'll get into some more teaching of like nuts and bolts of the demo. Okay, so let me pause my recording. Yeah, thank you, Maddie, for sharing. But the way I look at it is that this job is adulting or college for jobs. This isn't janitor job. This isn't flipping burgers. This isn't serving food or mowing lawns. Would you nod your head, guys, if you agree? This job is mentally a little more challenging, and it's a little more responsibility than maybe you've had before, where you're responsible for your schedule, for your income, for your motivation, right? And isn't that how college is? Like, don't they like push you through high school? Like, oh, you didn't do your homework, John? No problem. Do it 3 weeks later. Do it a month later. We'll still give you credit. And they like give you all these passes to get through high school. How many guys like ever got gifted some of that from high school? Right? But then in college, dude, there's not nearly as much leeway, right? You have to be more of an adult in college. And by the way, wait till you have a career and a job. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but you're increasing your capacity to grow and you're getting out of your comfort zone, aren't you? Like Hal said, right? And so, you follow the program, right? And those 3 tips, right? Follow the program. Oh gosh, I forgot the 3 tips, right? You follow the program and you don't give up, right? Until the very last moment, right? And then challenges equal growth, right? And those tips that he gave you, I think I just said one of them twice, but anyway, you get the point. Like that's what the job is, and then that's a good thing. All right, now that who's feeling better, even, and you may have already sold $1,000, $2,000 worth of Cutco, some of you have, but even though that's where we're at, how many guys are already feeling more confident in the job, right? You're feeling better and more confident anyway, right? Well, I mean, as much as you're feeling more confident and more motivated and excited, I also get to dial it back just a little bit in all of your motivation, and I will actually say I got to teach you something that's really boring, and that has to do with your first paycheck, and that is getting your first paycheck to be correct. How many guys are excited to make sure your first paycheck is correct, right? Now, the thing I want to say about your base pay and your commissions is that you will always, always get commissions. Because when you process a customer's credit card, they're gonna pay you commission. Like that's a done deal, right? But when it comes to the base pay, there's another thing you have to do it correctly. So this is a review from something we covered in day 3. So raise your hand if you were in day 3 of training, right? You should remember this, but just to give you one more reminder, it's the 4th probably tab in your workbook, and it looks like this. It's called your QPR, Qualified Presentation Report. And this is the one where you list the details of all your demos. So if you did Aunt Jill's appointment, you sold a homemaker, and you sold a trimmer or one knife to somebody, your mom, and then let's say Tom and Jerry didn't buy anything, and they gave you 5 referrals and 0. Right at the bottom, it totals up the details, right? 3 demos, 2 sales, 17 referrals, 1285 CPO. Does that make sense, guys? And that's not done yet. Shake your head no. Just because you did this does not mean you're going to get base pay. Listen very closely. You will never get the base pay add-on if you don't do this next step correctly. By the way, if you ever forget anything I'm telling you, there's a video right here. And you could rewatch 7 minutes of your manager showing you, or a manager, Jesse, showing you how to process your base pay. But look at me, just scroll down. You hit submit, but that's not a button. It's a link to a Google form, right, Gabe? So you go to the Google form and you fill in the details that are a summary of the workbook of the QPR. So in there, it's like your name, your office, your rep number. Your first demo was on the, your first demo for you guys would have been what, the 18th, I think, and then today's the 21st. So there you have it. And then you did 12 demos, 7 sales, sold $2,600. And yes, you're not a liar. Your pants are not on fire. And then you hit submit. And that's how you take care of your base pay. If you don't do this tonight, then you will get your commission. Nod your head up and down. You will get your commission, but you will not get any base pay difference unless you click submit right here, go to the Google form and fill it out, and then hit submit. Now, most of you are already way ahead of the base pay, right? Unless you've only done a couple demos and sold a trimmer, right? Which there's a couple like you, a couple of you like that. That's okay. And the last thing I'll mention is that on your schedule, as long as you're following your schedule, literally it tells you to do that tonight. So if you're looking at your schedule, it literally says in black and red right here, and then look at the next screen, or look over here, the next Monday night on your 11th day of the job, it tells you to do it next Monday night too. That makes sense? So that's how we take care of our base pay. If you forget and you do it Tuesday morning and you like beg your manager and apologize, it's not that they don't want to help you guys, it's that it may be too late. Like we have to the company has to process orders and process these things. And if it's not enough time to process it, then you'll just get your commissions. But as long as you get it done tonight, or worst thing, if you ask your manager maybe late or early morning on Tuesday or something, and you'll be fine. Your manager is going to do everything they can to make sure your first direct deposit is cash in the bank, so to speak, and it's as big as possible. Nod your head again if you want your first paycheck to be as big as possible. What do you think we want you to do? Same, right? So let's make sure we get that done. Okay. Commissions, the cool thing is when you're making more than the base pay, you don't care about this anyway. And the more than the base pay is the preferred option. So as long as you're making more than the base pay, you never have to fill out your QPR. But just to make sure on your first two paychecks, when you're at the lower commission level, right? When you're not at 30% yet, you're at 10 or 15, we want to make sure your first paycheck is as big as possible. Dig it? All right, guys. Awesome. Well, let's continue on with our learning section of training. So we've already said this. We've already talked about building your list. And so I just want to remind you, there's so many more people that you can see. And man, this is a good one to take a screenshot of. Excuse me. Take a screenshot of this because there's so many people. I was afraid to call some of my teachers. Guys, I was afraid of my sophomore year math teacher. It was college algebra in sophomore year. And he was my wrestling coach, Jonathan. So if I wasn't in trouble in school, I was in trouble in wrestling. If I wasn't in trouble in wrestling, I was in trouble with academics. And he was both. So I was like afraid of him. He's an NCAA champion in wrestling. I was afraid of this guy. He was awesome, by the way. Great coach, great teacher, but I was basically afraid of him, right? And I didn't at first feel comfortable calling him. I called him up, and I'm not joking. He bought two studio sets, two starter sets. And then while I was on my mission, gone for 2 years, he bought three more studio sets from someone else who sold Cutco and called him. Am I glad I sold him two sets? Nod your head if you think I am. Yes. But at first, I was not comfortable calling him. So you want to keep expanding that comfort zone. Keep adding more people and call them tonight. Call them tonight. Don't wait. You don't want to be on day 10 trying to squeeze 10 demos in on your last day. Let's squeeze in an extra demo or three tomorrow. Let's squeeze an extra demo or three on Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe tonight, obviously, for your first paycheck. Okay, so the more demos, the better. Keep calling your old neighbors, the ones you don't even live by anymore. Think about that. You have old neighbors that used to hang out. You probably slept at their house, right? There's probably people you haven't thought of or talked about and talked to in 10 years. But I promise you, if you call them up, they'd be like fired up to see you. Okay. And you know what? Half of them have Cutco anyway. Have you guys already called everybody in your phone that has Cutco? I was talking to the region manager yesterday. He's like, statistically, there's more and more data that we're getting that is saying, look, as long as a trainee just calls everyone they know that has Cutco, the closing percentage on those demos are through the roof. Like there's so, especially after they have advanced training, this meeting, they sell so much Cutco. If you didn't sell that much Cutco to people that already had Cutco this weekend, that's okay because we got things to teach you. All right. So let's keep cranking here through this information. For time's sake, I'm going to say as far as recommendations, again, we covered this, but you'll get better at getting recommendations when you get outside of your comfort zone. Secondly, make sure you just use the app and use this approach. So it's the app and the approach. The app is the My Cutco Rep, tracking and connecting to Vector Impact. They send you the apps, the recommendations through the apps, right? If it takes 2 extra minutes to download the app with a customer who's a boomer and can't figure out technology, take the extra couple minutes. I would also do as many demos in person. How many of you guys have ever taken your mom or dad's phone and just done whatever you needed them to do on their phone for them? Like they don't know how to post on Instagram, but you post something for them on Instagram. Guys, I would be in person and just take the customer's phone and open up the app and make sure they navigate it correctly and then let them do the checking off of all the people for referrals. But I would do that, do in-person demos whenever possible, and then use the approach every time. If you work on memorizing it, you'll have it internalized and then you can personalize it with every customer. And then, of course, keep asking for more. Like if they're at 7, get to 10. If they're at 12, get to 15. You know, bump them up a little bit. Ask for a specific number. I like to get them to give me originally a certain amount of referrals and then use that to bump it up with, you know, different things and be confident and keep asking for referrals. Remember, every sale and every no sale can give you referrals. whether they buy or not. Some of my most valuable lists were people that didn't buy, but because I shared my goals. Take your pen and paper out real quick. Write down sharing your goals. Sharing your goals. It's already in your script, right? But it's not just about selling. But I'll tell you right now, they will give you way more referrals. Customers will give you way more referrals when you have a cause that they know about. Paying for school, not being a financial burden on your customer, on your mom, getting President's Club, winning a scholarship, hitting $10,000 in your Fast Start contest. When you share your goals, 40 appointments, 30 appointments, the more you share your goals in the phone call and when you start your demo in both those spots, when you get to referrals at the end, remember in the setup, it says, later today, I'll show you how you can help me in hitting my goals, right? That's in the lead in or the setup to getting referrals at the beginning of the demo. But then when you ask for referrals, you can re-share your goals. And some of my best referrals were coming from people that maybe didn't buy or didn't buy a ton, and then obviously when they buy a signature set and you get a bunch of referrals, that's awesome. But just understand there's way more opportunity to get more. Okay, let's do some selling tips. Thumbs up if you want to learn how to sell more at Cutco. Right, we got like 30, 40 minutes here. And so we want to really crush the sales mindset and the sales keys. Okay, so I want you to write down 10, 80, 10. Write down 10, 80, 10. Okay, so what is 10, 80, 10? All right. 10, 80, 10, guys, is 10% of the people, no matter how skilled you are, no matter how much you build value, no matter how good you do your demo, there's just certain people that won't buy. Right? You ever heard your dad say you can't fix stupid? Anyone ever say that before? You can't fix stupid. So some people just have to wander the planet without Cutco. I'm sorry. They're not going to get Cutco no matter how good you are. Don't ever lose sleep over that one, right? It's okay. Right? Don't worry about that. You pay them $1,000, they still won't buy a trimmer, seriously. But don't be offended, don't be mad about it. Then there's 10% of the people, and some of you sold to these people, where you showed up, you say Cutco, they're like, give me some, take my money. I want Cutco. They want to buy a set before you even start the demo, right? And those are awesome. If you didn't meet those people yet, don't worry, you will. You just got to do more demos, right? But the more demos you do, the more times you'll fall into an ultimate set that you didn't even think was going to be a sale. You might have sold to people this weekend you didn't think you were going to sell to, and then they bought, and you're like, no way, I didn't think they were going to buy, right? That's those are great. I love those appointments. But 80% of the people you're going to show, for sure, 80% of the time, you're not going to have a sale. Sorry, it just happens, right? There's just going to be times where you don't sell anything and it's annoying. I'm sorry, you do. Sorry, I got off subject. 80% of the time, it really does depend on you. What you do. Do you follow the manual? Do you have enthusiasm? Do you share your goals? Do you drop down slowly? It depends how well you build value. And that's what this meeting's all about. Again, we got 40 minutes. We're going to crush it and teach you some good stuff that'll help you get 80%. So what is the target, guys? The target is actually selling 90% of the time. The target is to sell 90% of the time. Doesn't mean you're doing a bad job if you're not, but if you are not at 90%, which almost zero trainees are, that means there's room to improve. Okay, now nod your head. Do you get what I'm saying? There's room to improve, right? And that's why you want to come to Champs Club. That's why you want to get coached with your manager. And so, on that note, let me give you two really important assumptions, okay? And the two assumptions are these two. One is that customers are closer to buying than you think they are. Did you ever ask your mom and dad for something and you kind of know this, but you don't maybe in the moment? You know they're going to say yes, but you just got to work it over a little bit. You got to massage the situation. Who's ever been in that situation with mom and dad? They're closer to saying yes than they're letting on. Now, do you understand the analogy? They're closer to saying yes than they're letting on. Customers are that way. So don't let objections mess you up. Whoops, hello. Don't let objections mess up your mentality of them buying Cutco, right? What's it say? The second thing to assume here, the sale is most times lost in the rep's head before it's lost in the customer's. Okay, I love how we have improper English here. Can't handle it. Okay, the sales lost in the rep's mind before it's lost in the customer's. Okay, so let me put that up again. All right, so most sales are lost in the rep's head before it's lost in the customer's. So don't let those objections that they give you make you lose confidence in these three things. And you should know this from training. The buy once, use every day, never have to buy ever again. Who remembers the buns? Buns, right? They're going to buy Cutco once, they're going to use it every day, they never have to buy it again, and it saves them time, money, and energy. So if you really believe that, then you'll remember that and you won't let those objections or sad, like, oh, we like these knives, or I don't think these knives are, don't let that ruin your confidence. Don't let that ruin your confidence. Also, sharing your goals really does matter. Okay, they support you with referrals. They support you in your goals, and they'll sometimes buy a bigger set because they're like, I like this stuff, and because I trust Gabe, I'm gonna go ahead and buy the bigger order. I'm gonna buy instead of buying a galley, I want to buy a homemaker. Okay, so sharing your goals. You know what it did for me? Honestly, I won 5 scholarships, guys. I won 5 scholarships. It's because I talked about it every single demo on the phone and in person. Heck, when I was closing the sale, I'd say, hey, I'd love to earn your business today. And it would help me out towards my scholarship. Right. And they're like, you know what? I want to buy this stuff anyways. And I think you're awesome. I appreciate you. Who's ever had that server at a restaurant? You know, servers work on tips. How many of you guys know that servers work on tips? Nod your head. And you know they're trying to get a better tip. Yes. But honestly, don't you give a good tip when someone's really cool? Yes, you know they're working on tips, but you are willing to give them a better tip because they're making you feel better. They're serving you more, right? And you feel like you can trust that person. People like to do business and buy from sales reps that they feel like they can trust and they know and they can, feel confident in them, right? So that's why you share your goals. There is in your workbook, guys, in your workbook, the link to this link that I just stuck in the chat is in your workbook. So if you want to look at look at my screen, here is the workbook. You go to the resources tab, and there's this link right there. And you can literally pull up this link and you can make a copy. You guys know how to make a copy, right? You make a copy of this on a new, whatever, slideshow, and you can add your own pictures in here. By the way, McKenna right here, she sold $15,000 in her fast start. Okay, and she shared this with her customers, right? And you can share your goals of how many demos you're wanting to do. Remember that text you sent your manager? Here's the number of demos, here's my sales goal. You share that thermometer, and then you take a look at this, guys, and you can blow up when you make a copy, you can edit this, and you can make this rectangle turn into a big, long, huge rectangle to fill up the thermometer. Does everyone understand how you can fill up the thermometer with the red? And so you make your own little thing, and you could text this to your customers, take the screenshots of each of these slides once you make it. Okay, so that's just a little tip. Okay, and so we're going to go ahead and move along here, but sharing your goals really does matter. Okay, okay, let's see. I love this mentality along with those 2 assumptions, right? The 2 assumptions that you're closer to selling than you think you are, and the most sales are lost in the rep side before the customers. Here's why. This is what I'll say. Instead of thinking, are they going to buy? You want to think what they're going to buy. So put what versus if in your notes. Put what versus if. It's not are they going to buy, right, Gabe? It's are they going to buy a homemaker or an ultimate set, right? Are they going to buy 500 or are they going to buy 1,000? If you're thinking that way, you're going to come across way more confidently and way more competently. I say that, who's ever been guilty of what I'll call stinking thinking, where you're thinking yourself into trash. Like you're your own worst enemy. Who's ever been in your head too much? You're your own worst critic. You're your own worst enemy. If you're thinking stinking things, like if you're thinking of bad things and thinking of bad outcomes of a date or a wrestling match or a performance for the piccolo or the violin, right? You're going to have worse results if you're thinking you're going to fail. Versus, are they going to buy Pearl or Classic? Are they going to buy a customized set, or are they going to buy a package set that we already made for them, a homemaker or galley? Right. One more thing to think about to help you build. This is all going in the chat box, as you guys know. Okay. Do a good job of what I call cooking rapport. This was covered on day 3. But cooking rapport, Maddie, is actually being interested in the way they cook. Because if you can be interested in the way they cook, you will customize your demo better. You'll customize your demo better. That's what you want to do. You want to customize your demo so that what you talk about the most is what they would do or use the most. Okay. Cooking rapport. Remember the question that you probably wrote down, but you may not remember. But the question is, do you ever sometimes maybe cut blank? Do you ever sometimes maybe cook this? Do you ever find yourself sometimes maybe ever this, needing this knife or doing this? And the more you say that about different knives, they'll be like, yes, yes, yes. And now each piece has value in it. One other thing is I like to share my other customer stories. So if you have a customer who has a homemaker, raise your hand if you know someone who has a homemaker, galley, or bigger. Raise your hand. Someone you sold to, or they already have, before you called them, they have a set of Cutco. Raise your hand. Okay. Share their story when you introduce that set. So my mom and dad bought a galley set. So every customer I ever introduced the galley set after they didn't buy the homemaker, I would always say, my mom and dad started with this set. This is the set that Susie likes. This is the set my aunt bought. This is the set that my grandma got before I was born. That's the best way that introducing lots of sets. Okay. Um, okay, the next thing we're going to get into, guys, and I love this, is how to give more or give better or give different free stuff. If you change it up, like let's say you're selling a homemaker set, but grandma and grandpa do not need scissors and kitchen tools. You know why they don't need kitchen tools? They have 1,400 spoons. Your grandma could melt a spoon until the day she dies, and she probably wouldn't even run out. You know what I mean? Like they just have too many spoons. What I'm going to show you guys is how you can change the free stuff. Changing to give more, better, or different free stuff, it will help your customers because it'll build the value for your customers differently in a way that they will like the things they're getting more. Sometimes I don't even want a better deal. I want the right stuff. I'll pay more for avocado. Who's ever paid more for avocado? You paid more for a protein shot. Who's ever paid more for blah 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 for in a like meal? Yes, I want bacon. I'll pay the extra $2. Like, you know what I mean? Customers don't even necessarily care as much about the money as they care about the what. The value, right? You guys know what I'm talking about? This is being recorded, and I just stuttered on my okay, I'm going to empty that cart because that's something I'm going to teach you in 10 minutes. Okay, so what I've got here is, let's say you're selling a set. We'll do a galley set just for kicks. Okay, we'll throw that in the cart. And normally we would give like the entertainer pack. Better don't give the box or the block. I'm sorry, the box for free, because the box costs you money and they're going to throw it away. Can you hear me on that? If you give the entertainer pack for free, if you give, oh shoot, if you give the entertainer pack for free, give sets, you will be giving the box that costs you money to give it for free, but it's silly to give it for free because they'll throw the box away. So I don't give the box, I give the 4 items. Whoops, let's delete that. Okay. And so now what do? I give this for free. This should be pretty familiar to all of you. Thumbs up if you're seeing my screen, you can see the cart. Okay, I'm just making sure. All right, so those are the 4 things. Notice right here, guys, when I pull this blue bar down, I got a couple things. I got how much it is, how much the payments will be 2, 3, or 5 months before tax. So tax on 250, it's going to be about 20 bucks, a little less. So I'm going to say it's 263 a month instead of 243, right? 7 to 8% tax. So I'm going to do a quick math and say about 20 bucks tax, and then, maybe 18, 19 bucks tax. And that's what it's going to be per month. Okay. But notice right here, it's saying 17%. So thumbs up if orange is good. Green is good and orange is good. Does everyone give me a thumbs up? Give me a thumbs up real quick. Orange or green? When I give different free stuff, it'll change the orange. But red, go like this. Give me thumbs down for red. Red is going to be demasiado, right? A little too much. But notice that I'm still in the orange right now. So what I'm going to say is very simply, if this is grandma, and I love grandma, nod your head if you love grandma too. I love grandma, you love grandma. So what do? I throw in that can opener for grandma also for free. Oh, look what just happened. Red and oh, I'm sorry, orange and green was what? Thumbs up. Red is bad. So what this means is I'm still going to do it. And you should call your manager to make sure. So everyone nod your head if you understand. You can always call your manager to make sure. Now look at me. Sometimes you call your manager to reassure Karen. Karen is that customer. Who knows Karen? Do we all know Karen? She could be your aunt, she could be your bishop's wife, but that one Karen, that's that freaking whatever job you've ever had, and there's Karen. And Karen just wants you to talk to the manager. She just wants to talk, she wants to get a good deal, right? Sometimes you might know you can give something for free, but you pick up the phone and you call your manager because you're barely in the red. You're stretching the limit. By the way, are we all related to a Karen? Yes, we are all related to a Karen for sure. And and that's okay. And Karen needs reassurance. You could call your manager and say, "Hey, is it okay if I squeeze the can opener in for Aunt Karen or Grandma and Grandpa or Susie Homemaker?" Yeah, you can do that. And you give a little more for free. You're barely in the red. Gabe, what that means is that you are quote, breaking the rule for Karen. And if you're breaking the rule for Karen, is Karen fired up? Karen's pumped. She's like, give me that. Here's my money. Take it. Here's my card number right now. Forget the payments. I'll pay in full. All of a sudden, she's got the good deal. It's not about the price. It's about the what? Value. And when you squeeze a little extra free stuff and you get into the red there, now if you get super far in the red, guys, there is a limit. You can't just give anything. So let's go back. I'm going to be really screwy here. And just because it's easy, I'll just add this to the cart. And let's see. It probably won't even let me make it for free. Oh my gosh. Look at what just happened. I made the scissors for free. I am way too high, like way in the red. I don't like that. So what I would do here is I would say, well, she's not really gonna cut pizza. By the way, cutting pancakes and waffles and hot pockets and taffy and special candy that grandma makes around the holidays. But let's say the least used of all these items is going to be the pizza cutter. So I would take off the pizza cutter, but I'm throwing in the freaking scissors for free. Am I still in the red? Yes. But it's not 29%, it's 30, 25%. So the rule is green or orange is good. Red is breaking the rules. But if it's barely into the red, call your manager to reassure and then hit it. Send it. I hit checkout, baby. Checkout. She is getting. Now let me show you another tip for the pros. Nod your head if you want a tip from the pros. Okay. There's 4 numbers you want to quote. And if you really follow the manual, this is baked in the cake. If you really follow the manual, watch. You say, Mrs. Jones, you're getting $1,787 of Cutco for only $11.99. That's $588 off. That's the third number. I quickly with my calculator take 1787 minus 1199, and that's $588. And I say you're getting all of that for 263 today. 261, whatever. And she's like, huh? I go for 260 bucks. You're getting $1,800 worth of Cutco for only 1,200. Notice I'm rounding numbers, right? You're getting almost 1,800 bucks for only 1,200. You're saving almost 600 bucks right there. I'm breaking the rule. And I would even, if I'm on a Zoom or if I'm in person, I show her that it's in the red. I'm breaking the rule. I called my manager, didn't I? And it's only 260 today, bro. And if you can call your customer Bay or Bro, you're probably writing up the order. Dude, you're saving, it's only 260 today, bro. And she's like, or bruh, say bruh. She's like, bruh, I've been called bruh before. Okay. And you're writing up an order right there. And there's no pushiness, but notice that I quoted four numbers. 1787 for only 11.99, saving almost 600 bucks, and it's only 263 today. And that's changing the free stuff. Wait, hold on. I was going to use grandma and grandpa as the example, so let's make this other example. Grandma is a freaking flower fiend. Using alliteration in advanced training here, guys. Grandma is a freaking flower. Grandma Florence is a freaking flower fiend. Yes or yes. Grandma Florence is literally a freaking flower fiend. I can't even say it again, can I? But look at this. Watch me, guys. I'm throwing in for grandma, the flower fiend. I'm throwing that in the cart. Watch what happens. Green is the thumb. You guys see the thumb? Thumb. I'm throwing in this garden tools for free. Bam, red. Red. Holy moly, grandma. You're getting $1,800 worth of Cutco for $11.99, bruh. She's like, what? And she's like, no, 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 no. I don't want that much, Alex. So you say, all right, tell you what, grandma, let's do the 4-piece with this one. And maybe I'll give that for free. I bonus that set for free. She's still getting 1,800 bucks for 1,200. My CPO is a little better. And it's still only 263 today. But why did this work, Jonathan? Because I changed the free stuff. What does the chat box say right now? Change the free stuff, different free stuff, better free. Better is not necessarily more value. Did you hear what I said? Better is not necessarily more dollar value. Because what if they're not Grandma Florence, who's a freaking flower fiend? What if it's Uncle Harry, who's a hunting fiend? Right? What if it's Uncle Harry and we throw in this puppy and we throw in this puppy, the fishing knife, and he doesn't want the scissors, dude. Uncle Bob, Uncle Harry, he does not want that, but he certainly hecka wants the K-bar knife and the fishing knife, and he gets $1,700 for only 1,200, and that's a better CPO, but he's getting what he wants, right? And it's only 263 a month. But we change the free stuff. Thumbs up if you like what we just learned. Okay, the last thing I'm going to teach you is what's better to give. What's better to give, listen closely, is the stuff we sell, make, and give for free the most. So if we sell it the most, make it the most, or give it the most, that's the better free stuff. What does that mean? Here's the opposite of what I'm teaching you. The worst things for free, honestly, I made a bad example on the screen. The worst example is garden tools, K-bars, cleavers, wood blocks. Guys, we're a knife company. Garden tools they're like, we're basically a middleman. We get all those pieces from a American company and we put it together with Cutco. But garden tools are like extra money and extra effort for us. Same thing as wood blocks. And then K-bar, we're basically a middleman, even though we make K-bar and we own K-bar, right? We don't want to give K-bar because it's like an extra, group of people K-bar that we have to, essentially pay. And we don't sell, make, or give those the most. But what do we, nod your head, what we do give and make and sell the most is homemaker knives. So write this down, the things to give for free that are best. Homemaker knives, table knives, gadgets, kitchen tools. Homemaker knives, table knives, gadget, kitchen tools. Obviously the scissors are really popular, but Maddie, I would rather, and Rake, I'd rather give a petite carver for free or a bread knife than scissors. I would have them pay for scissors and give a bread knife for free. It actually saves them $1, but it gives me 10 or 12 CPO higher. Like my income will be higher, a little more CPO because I gave the right free things. So you can actually impact your sales by giving different free stuff. And the stuff you want to give for free, a lot of the times is not like the scissors or like K-bar knives or garden tools or wood blocks. You want to give like homemaker knives, right? Including the table knives, because we sell those the most by a mile. Because we sell them in all the sets and then we sell them on all the customized orders. Okay, next thing I want you to write down is discounting sets. Actually, write down discounting table knife sets. Discounting table knife sets. This is so money in the bank because you guys know people like the Homemaker +8, the Galley +6. They like the Studio +4, right? Does everyone know that? Like they want table knives. You cut the leather in person, they're like, can I get 40 of those? Like I have Sandy Conrad, she's one of my customers from 1997, and no joke, she has 48 table knives. No joke, to this day. She started with 5 table knives and a spatula was her first order. She's bought from me like 10 times. She owns a Homemaker +8 and a whole bunch of other stuff in Pearl. She's bought a couple other galley sets, and she owns 48 table knives because she entertains, right? Well, I'm not joking when I say she keeps buying more Cutco, and the table knives are like everybody's favorite. So I'm teaching you how to discount, right? Discounting sets that are table knife sets because they like table knife sets. So this only works with table knives, table knife sets. Now write down in big letters B-block or B blocks sets. B block sets. B block sets. And if you bring your eyes to my screen as you're writing down B block sets, everyone scroll down where I'm at and notice that right here, what do we have, Gabe? I click on B block sets and I have every set that we make that can hold table knives. Ultimate, Signature, Homemaker, Galley, Essentials, and Studio set. So it only works with these sets, but notice what these pictures give you. They give you the set without the table knives in the block. Does everyone see how it's the set without the table knives in the block? The other point I want to make is notice how we're selling the B block set with the wrong block. Sorry, we're selling the basic Homemaker in the wrong block, but it's the price of the basic set. It's the same price as a basic Homemaker. Nadja, if you understand that. Same price as a basic Homemaker, but it has the wrong block, but we're going to make it the right block. Here's how. What we're going to do, and it's really important you write this down, it's a Homemaker +1. So I'm going to throw one table knife and throw another table knife, but I'm going to make this 7 because it's a Homemaker plus what? Homemaker +8. So write down buy one, get the rest for free. Notice the thumb. The thumb is orange. Is orange good? So notice she gets a $1,924 package, Homemaker +8. Instead of paying $1,664, which that's what it would be normal, she can pay $300 and some odd dollars less. Who thinks $304, $306 off, $304 off? She can trade in the free discount, whatever was going to be free. Hear me loud and clear. Instead of scissors, instead of entertainer pack pieces, instead of kitchen tools and paying $1,664, she can get the Homemaker +8 that's worth $1,900. And instead of paying $1,600, she could pay $1,300. She's getting both discounts, Gabe. She's getting the set discount, right, Alex? And she's getting the free table knives. And she's paying $1,360. Instead of paying $362 a month, she's paying like $290 after tax. She's paying like $298. I don't know. Right?
Hey Phil,
Yes, sir.
can you show how to give the original discount again? Like not with the knives, but the other one.
Yeah, the answer is it's already built in. when you sell a homemaker plus 8, guys, great question. When you sell a homemaker plus 8, just stick it in the cart. It's worth $1,900. But because it's bought as a set, we only sell it for $1,664.
Okay. Okay, I
That's
got you.
the set discount. I love the question. Perfect question. So they're already saving like $260 off, right? But then if you don't do what I just, don't sell it that way, do the B block. How did that work again, guys? I did the B block I'll do the galley. No, I'll do the homemaker. Boom, add that to the cart, then check it. And then I go here, I go to homemaker pieces. I go table knife. But then I make one of them 7 table knives. So what is in the cart? What's in the package is a homemaker plus 8. What did they buy? They bought a table knife and the basic set in the wrong block because we did the B blocks. And then 7 are free. Write down in your notes, this is a trade-in. What she's trading here, Gabe, is she's trading the free scissors and the free entertainer pack, and she's trading the free stuff for money off the set. I don't tell her what's on the screen. I don't need to tell her she's buying one table knife, getting 6, 7 for free. She doesn't care. She just wants to know she's paying $1,360 instead of $1,664. I'd way rather, if I'm her, if she doesn't want scissors, if she can live without scissors, live without cheese knives and peelers, if she can live without the free stuff, she's getting a $1,900 set, and instead of paying $1,664, Gabe, she's only paying $1,360. She is saving like $600, bro. And guess what? My sale is still 1,000 CPO. She's paying $290 something instead of $360. She's saving 60, $70 a month, right? And she just gets the set without the free stuff at a discount. Write that down. It's the set without the free stuff, but with a discount instead. Now, if you choose, I will throw my phone number in the chat box right now. You can text me and your manager. Text me and your manager, and she or I or he or I will send you these screenshots to your phone. You can text me and Shay or me and Patrick or me and whoever. What I'm putting in the chat box right now is the cart that I'm showing you on the screen. So if you forget, you can always pull this picture up and be like, wait, how do I do that again? I'm also sending you one to do with steak knives with the ultimate set, which is going to be very similar for the signature set. This is awesome stuff, right? And I'm also going to send you, this is really amazing that I'm sending you this, guys. And that is a list of every single payment plan for every single set, including the discounts. Okay, so check this out. Oh, shoot. It's not in the slideshow anymore. Let me see if I can find it on this. Hold on. Oh, it's being difficult. Okay, let me do this. We're almost done. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So I'm sending you this right now. Right? And that way you can find all the specials, including the full prices, and whether they do 2 months or 3 months. It's kind of handy to have every single set, including cookware down here. So I'm sending you that. Yeah. Okay. Any questions before I move on with 9 minutes to spare? Any questions from anybody? Give you another 2 seconds.
I've got something. I think from the demos I've done so far, the part that hasn't like been awesome is just the first 10-minute video. Because when I try to like screen share it, it's like really choppy. But then when they just watch it on their own, I'm like kind of like distant from them, you know?
Never screen share a video, right?
Ha-
You're streaming in on your internet to their internet, and there could be slowness on your side or slowness on their side. You should always have them watch the video on their internet connection. They
Right. So
on
that's what I ended up doing both the times.
Yep.
but then I didn't really know how to like kind of be a part of what they were doing, and I don't know, it just felt kind of weird.
Yeah, great question. If you're on a virtual and you're doing that, make sure you are on speakerphone or on Zoom, and they share their audio. They share their audio. Nope, not yet. Not yet.
Hi.
Okay, I'm in a meeting on Zoom. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. They want the screens too quick, and there's chores, people. Come on, man. What are you guys crazy? Okay. But he was trying to be slick. He was really trying to be slick. Okay. Um, all right. Good stuff. Okay, we got a couple minutes. Did that answer your question? Did that answer your question?
You were about to kind of elaborate on something, and then
Yeah. Okay, you want to hear the video. And what I would do is I would press play on my computer, but mute my sound. So I can see because you guys know the video. Once you've done 3 demos, you have that video memorized, like you know it, right? So I'd be watching my screen, hearing their audio, and I know that I'm 3 seconds ahead of them, or they're 2 seconds in front of me, or whatever. I know where they're at and where I'm at because I can hear their audio through the phone or on the Zoom, and then I can see what they're seeing so that I can say, oh, what about, oh man, those knives are awesome. On the lasagna, the spatula spreader is unbelievable. We cut up this food in my training class with Patrick. It was awesome. Like you can relate to them by sharing stories that you've already experienced with Cutco. Is that helpful, Gabe? You hearing their audio and you talking through by seeing the video, but turning your sound off. Okay, sweet. All right, guys. Couple last things. These are great building up bigger orders by saying, hey, just so you know, if you add this, I can give you this for free. And if you don't know what to say in those situations, call your manager. We'll help you. Can you see yourself using a garden tool set? Can you see yourself using that fishing knife in deer season? Or, can you see yourself using the hunting knife or the clip point outdoor knife during hunting season? And if they're saying, I want to buy a gift, do you say how many? Right? Things you can do to build up your lists. Build up your lists, okay? Remember, it's building value first. Then we ask for the order, but most orders, even if they're not a full homemaker set, but they're just own Cutco and they're buying a bunch of stuff random, it's the same process. We build up the list, we make the list, that like list, and then we drop down with the like list. And the like list might include a homemaker on the set, on the order, right? Hey, just reminding you about a couple of things, and then I'll give you your assignments and we'll jump off Zoom, okay, guys? Remember, in your schedule, the next time I see your faces, or that we see your faces, is Champs Club, right? Tonight you're going to fill out your QPR. That's an event. And then tomorrow morning, as long as you can make it, come to Champs Club Monday through Friday, which means Tuesday through Friday for the rest of this coming week, right? And the next time we see you is Thursday night. Let me just remind you, Thursday night, this is the one meeting per week that everybody comes to. So Champs Club is as long as you're not in school, come to Champs Club, right? That's optional. This meeting, we only have one time in your life, so you don't need to be at this meeting next week, when we might have a training and we might have advanced training, right? Some of your friends will be in training next week, maybe, right? This week, rather. And then this team meeting is your first team meeting. 3 or 4 of you are already on the newsletter. Alex, Jonathan, if you're over 1,000, you'll be on the newsletter. If you sell over $500 your first weekend, you'll be on the newsletter. But what we do, guys, 650, we teach you some keys to phoning, to booking up your second weekend. Our objective, just like last Thursday for you guys, last Thursday you booked up your first weekend. This Thursday we're booking up our second weekend. So we're going to teach you some keys to phoning, right? And then we're going to get on the phone. That's exciting. Then we'll get on the phone on Thursday, right? To book up the weekend. And then we actually, with the team meeting, we do a lot of recognition. So the second half of the team meeting is the recognition and the fun. And the last week they went to round one and got ice cream. You guys know round one? It's at Southtown Mall by the office. And they got ice cream and hung out for a little while. The Logan team went and did an activity. So if you're in Logan, that could happen. So definitely you're invited to do whatever we do on the evening if we do something after the team meeting. But there's that. And that's the next time we see your face. So as we wrap up advanced training here, guys, those of you that are jumping on right now for key staff, what's up, Calvin? What's up, Spencer? Good to see those of you that are jumping on for advanced training. I'm sorry, for key staff. But the last thing I'll say is let's go ahead right now, if you would, and review your assignments. One, if you haven't got your first sale, bro, get that first sale. And if you haven't got your first pay raise, get your first pay raise. You got demos tonight. Let's sell a bunch of Cutco on Monday night. Monday, guys, is the last night, tonight. And this is for Spencer. This is for Calvin. This is for some of you I talked to on PDI. Guys, we literally have till tonight, 4 a.m., 6 a.m. New York, 4 a.m. to get every order we can possibly get. I didn't get my order earlier today for a customer that called me. They're literally saying, take my money. I want to buy some knives. And I called them. They didn't answer. So I have to call them again and make sure I get that sale tonight because every order counts for the March Madness. This is the final. We've been doing March Madness for 6 weeks. We're the #1 office on one side against Fargo, North Dakota, the second office that's #1 on the other side. We got to beat them down today. And so let's make it happen. So every sale today counts. So get it online, get every sale done tonight, okay? Remember to call in tomorrow morning, click your QPR tonight, book more demos, add more names to your list, and we'll see you on Thursday night. Okay, guys? So if you're here for advanced training, we are done getting gun, okay? You are done. You can bust out of here, crush your